Girls, can we scooch forward a little bit, please? Thank you. Okay. So, we all know what holiday is coming up next week, right? Thanksgiving. Well, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving today a little bit. So we're going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. We're going to more talk about the history of Thanksgiving because you guys are getting a little bit older now, so I know Thanksgiving is like a fun time that we get together with our families and we eat lots of good food, right? But there's a lot more to Thanksgiving than just the turkeys, right? There's a lot more to it. All right, we're not discussing right now. This is going to be my time to tell you what I need to tell you, and then we're going to have time to discuss, okay?
Does it need turkey?
So, I have the word pilgrim written up here. We've all heard of pilgrims before, right? I'm going to read you a story today. It's called The Pilgrim's First Thanksgiving. And what I'm going to have you do while I'm reading, I want you to think a certain way while we're reading because I want you to pick up on certain things. So I want you to think about this question while I'm reading to you. The question is, what do you think it was like for the pilgrims who came to America on the Mayflower? We're not talking about it right now. We're going to read it first, and then we're going to have time to talk. So I'm going to read this story to you about the Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving, and I want you to think about what it was like for the Pilgrims who came over on the Mayflower. So keep thinking in that mindset while I'm reading it. Think about different things that happened to them, and kind of keep them in your mind, and then we're going to talk about it after, and we're going to write about it later too, okay? A long time ago, some men and women, boys and girls, 2 dogs and a cat sailed on a ship across the sea. They left their old country because they could not pray the way they wanted. The people were called pilgrims. The ship was called the Mayflower. The Mayflower was as big as 2 trucks, but it was not big enough. The pilgrims and sailors were crowded together to sleep. They crowded together to eat. The children had no room to run around. They had no toys. They had to leave most things behind. So I already want you to start thinking. It's telling you all the different things that the children had to do while they were on the ship. They couldn't play, they couldn't run. So Connor and Sahil, so they couldn't play, they couldn't run. How would you feel if you were a child on the Mayflower and you couldn't do those things? Think about how your life would be different than it is right now. The Pilgrim children hated the food on the ship, but they had to eat it. There was nothing else. Nothing but the same old salted beef or fish, nothing but the hard, dry biscuits, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of butter. After a while, the food turned bad. There was not enough water for drinking or washing. So think about how now, when snack time's coming up soon and you have more than just stale bread and butter, right? So think about how you would feel if that's all you had to eat. The children couldn't sleep in warm, cozy beds. They slept on the hard, cold floor of the ship. They slept in the same clothes they wore every day. Their clothes got torn and dirty and smelly. Day by day, things got worse. Storms came. The winds blew hard. The waves tossed the ship about. The Mayflower rolled and creaked in the stormy ship in the stormy sea. The rain soaked the ship through. The rain poured on the pilgrims. They were cold and wet. Many of the pilgrims got sick. Would this terrible voyage ever end? They prayed for the day that they would see land. They had sailed away in warm September. Now it was cold November. So think about how long that took. Remember in social studies when we were talking about the people moving across the United States, how long that journey took? This was about the same. They had been on the Mayflower for 2 months and 3 days. The next day they saw land. They were very happy, but they were scared too. What kind of land was this? There were no houses, no stores, no people to meet them. Only an empty white sandy beach with trees and bushes behind it. Oh, but it was good to be on land again. The Pilgrim children ran up and down the beach, feeling the sand and land beneath their feet. So again, they came to a new land and there was nothing there. They had to start from scratch. Winter. Winter was coming. The Pilgrims had to find a safe place for all of them to live. Every day, a group of pilgrims searched the wild